yo. Was my mic on? All right, looks like my mic is on now. Let me make sure I'm nice and centered. Make sure I got my light on. Let's cut the light on a little bit. All right, hold on. Let's see. Let's see. Switch the light. Switch the light. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right. So we are here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Heat Check live beat review show hosted right here on YouTube. I'm your host, Desmond A, and I'm here to give you guys some awesome and some amazing feedback. Can you believe it's Friday already? Man, time flies. Time flies when you're having fun. Like I say, I've had a lot of fun this week. It's been a very good week for me. I hope it's been a very good week for you guys as well. I'm looking at my calendar on the side and I can see we're about 1 month away from our 1 year anniversary of the Heat Check. Guys, I'm brainstorming some different ideas, celebration ideas. I think what we're going to do is like a marathon stream where we just stream the whole day. I'll probably do it on a Saturday. I'll probably do it on the Saturday, the month of the anniversary, which is next month. So yeah, next month we're gonna have a live stream Heat Check, and I'm gonna have a bunch of stuff for you guys. I don't want to let the cat out the bag. I just want it to be real fly, put it out there. So if this is your first time here at the Heat Check, you might be wondering, who is this guy? What does he do? Why should I take his feedback? Well, my name is Desmond A. I'm a producer in the Atlanta, Georgia area. Been producing for over 12 years now. Have music on different networks like eTelevision, Bravo, Sci-Fi, documentaries. I've recording artists and studios. I've worked at mid-sized studios, and I've interned at a major studio, sold beats online, have my producer podcast, I've mixed albums, I make beats, I do just about everything. And in my experience, I've got a lot of perspective, I got a lot of experience, and I've gotten the ability to learn certain things, certain aspects of producing that I'm here to give back to you guys on this live stream for free. You know, they say a wise person learns from someone else's mistakes, and I'm here to give you all that experience for free right here on this stream. So if you're with that, make sure you stay tuned right here for the Heat Check. Now, if you're not aware of the format here at the Heat Check, what happens is you go ahead and send your beats over to me on the link that you see in the description. But I got to let you know, the free submissions are closed for this week's show. That's right. So you send your free submissions from the end of the stream all the way up until the following Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then from that point forward, that's when we have the VIP skip the line $10 submission. So you just go ahead and click the link for the VIP, submit your $10, and then I'll go ahead and review your beat. And also, another added bonus for the VIP skip the line is that I actually listen to your entire beat. Free submissions get about 1.5 minutes. Paid submissions get the entire beat played. So a lot of benefits for the VIP skip the line. So if you guys want to get with that, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, at the end of the stream, the free submissions are going to open. You can go ahead and submit for the next show. Excuse me. Now, a couple ground rules here at the Heat Check. We don't roast. We don't snap. This is not a place to get your giggles off. If you want to play the dozens, if you want to snap on people's music, go that way. We don't do that here. See, here at the Heat Check, it's kind of like a dojo or like you're working with a boxing instructor. We don't say, oh, that was a whack punch or that was a whack knee strike. We say, no, twist your hip when you go ahead and throw that jab. Pop your hip when you throw that knee strike. If you had a sensei that just roasted you, you'd walk out that gym, right? So we don't do that here at the Heat Check. We give you real actionable tips. We're going to give it to you straight, but we're going to give you information that you can actually use. So if you dig that, go ahead and make sure you stay right here on this stream. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, the last Made in the Studio podcast, if you haven't checked it out, was with Mixed by L. Yes, Mixed by L, very popular mixing engineer here on YouTube. Man, he gives a lot of game. So he's done quite a bit, man. His journey is very interesting. I've actually met him in Atlanta, and he was so gracious enough to come on the podcast and give all that good game. So if you haven't seen that episode, it's the most recent episode. Go ahead and click on the podcast tab on my YouTube channel and check out the Made in the Studio podcast. And also, you can stream the audio version anywhere that podcasts are played. That's right, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever. Just type in Made in the Studio podcast with Desmond A, which is yours truly. Just type in Made in the Studio podcast. You'll see a mic and an MPC or a drum machine, in the logo. And then you go ahead and check out all the episodes. And man, I'm telling you, I'm not just saying this because it's my podcast. It's actually our podcast. It's a community podcast for all of us. However, my name is on it. So I will say there's just so much game in these episodes, guys. I really hope that you're in there really soaking up the information and listening actively, because, man, some of those episodes I go back to, I'm like, whoo, that's some powerful information. Some of you guys have to travel and go to conferences to try to get that type of game. And even sometimes people don't ask the type of probing questions that I ask to get the real information out. So I'm glad to be a supporter of the community to give that good information. And yes, I am working on getting more guests on the podcast, so be on the lookout for future episodes. All right. So yes, that is enough of the announcements. Let's go ahead and get right into the music. I know you guys are tired of me yapping, as the kids say. You yapping, Unc. You yapping, Unc. Get right to it, Unc. So let's go ahead and get right into it, as the kids say. Let's get into FL Studio. Bam, there we go. All right. So what we're going to do here now is get started. First submission of the night, we have Tony Crow with Still Your Best. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and then give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
Are you serious? Are you kidding me? What's the deal? Oh no, it's the one you talking about that's supposed to take my place. Damn, is this for real? It's almost disrespectful. That's a downgrade in you.
All right, Tony, it looks like you submitted a song. The Heat Check Live Beat Review Show is only for producer submissions. I thought that might have been a vocal sample just for a hook, which is fine. But it looks like you submitted an entire song. If you're looking to submit an entire song, you can do the VIP skip the line, and I'll accept it there. However, this is a producer stream, so we have to prioritize producers. So I'm going to go ahead and skip you, Tony. However, if you have beats, please submit beats, and I'll be glad to review you. So that's how we're going to rock out. Moving forward, we have our next submission here, JQUP with Head Over Heels. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and then give my feedback. So let's take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was our first producer submission of the night. That was JAEQUP with Head Over Heels. So shout out to you and thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Now, Jay, I know what direction you are trying to go into musically. It's kind of like has like the old Neptunes feel. I could just tell by your selection of percussion, and then how you went into the bridge, those type of changes, chord changes, Pharrell and Chad used to do in a lot of their productions together. A couple things though. One, the first thing that really grabbed me was the loudness. This beat was really loud and really harsh on the ears, and it's just very jarring. It just sounds like to me like you turned up all the sounds in your beat to like all red. Everything in the mixer is just all red, and probably your master fader is all red, so it's just distorted. And I can even see here, just eyeballing it, it's like one block. So, one thing we want to work on, Jay, is having our beats, balanced. Like let's aim to have all of our sounds balanced, and then making it louder from there, because as of now it just sounds like it's just burning in the red. When I make a beat and I'm done, sometimes my beats are just, I wouldn't say they're this harsh, but I'm just jamming out. I'm grooving. I'm just feeling everything. I'm letting everything be how it is. I just want to feel good when I'm done making a beat. However, when I get time to, actually mix it, quick mix it, whatever you want to call it, I'm just thinking about the artist. What is the artist going to feel like when they listen to this beat? How's it going to make their ears feel? Do they have space to record a song to this? Am I adding too many sounds where that sound is getting in the way? Am I doing things to show off to other producers as opposed to pleasing the recording artist who needs to actually write a song to it? So I just say that to give you perspective on when you're producing and when you're actually mixing, because that takes me into some of the direction of the beat. To me, this beat almost feels like it should go on some type of instrumental project, due to the fact that it just sounds like it's kind of all over the place. I think like you're trying to create this like artistic type of chaos, but it's just a little bit too all over the place. We need to create some type of direction with it. So I would say continue to make beats, continue to keep cooking up, and really critically listen to some of your influences. When you're listening to those old Neptunes productions, really listen to it. I mean, really listen to it. How does the top end of the instrumental feel on your ears? Maybe there are modern producers with the sound that you're going for. How does the top end of the beat feel on your ears? What's the direction of the beat? Is it just very chaotic? Is there some type of direction to the chaos, a kind of controlled confusion or controlled experimentation? I like things like that. I like to have my head play with and my mind play with when I listen to music. But at the same time, it needs to be more intentional. It can't just be kind of scattered the way it is. And another point that I have written down here is the drum groove. I felt like you were going for that looser Pharrell kind of percussion. I think a lot of the stuff they did was on like the Chord Triton back in the day, Chord Trinity, and some of the percussion that Pharrell would do on there almost sound like he turned off the quantize, so create this kind of weird off groove. I'm actually thinking about a song that the Neptunes did. Man, I could hear the beat in my head. It's like I think it was a Clip song. And I just say that because the percussion was so off, it felt right. It's like Pharrell knew how to control that looseness of the percussion and just making it hit at the right point. So we just need to work on the sophistication on that. I heard that you were possibly attempting to do that, and we need to work on that. So just listen. And once again, that's a tip I give a lot of you guys, is take some time to even remake one of those beats that you really like, even if it's just a drum beat, even if it's just the kick part, you can really close the gap. You can really, make the learning curve much shorter by doing that. You just pick up so much that you might not know by doing that. And also collabing with other producers, which goes a very long way. Trust me. So keep going, Jay. Keep making beats and keep submitting right here on the Heat Check. All right. Moving forward, we have Fireboy 37 with Camo. All right. I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and then give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
Ayo, fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Fireboy 37 with Camo. Shout out to you, Fireboy, and thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Now, Fireboy, good beat. I get the idea from that beat that you're not a stranger to either working with artists or you may have sold a couple beats before. It's just a hunch that I have because it sounded like that beat was very artist friendly. I didn't get the idea that you were thinking about things just from your perspective. You were thinking about the final song. And that's a very good attribute to have as a producer, especially as isolated as so many of us are these days. I wish more of us would get in the studio and cook up with each other. That being said, one thing that stood out to me is, another thing I want to add to that, it being artist friendly, is I was definitely hearing a UK artist on that. And I don't just say that because it had that drill, some of those drill sounds. I was hearing a UK artist on that. So Fireboy, get in the DMs, hit up some different artists, let them know that, you got something for them, because it's really a numbers game when it comes to selling beats. If you're gonna do especially you're gonna do DMs and things like that, definitely please do the YouTube type beat thing, because you never know who could run across your stuff. Speaking of that, guys, I'm creating a masterclass right now for the Patreon, and I'm telling you, it's something. It's gonna be on selling beats. It's going to be my strategy, one of my strategies to sell beats, and it's gonna be something. So I've already started it. I've gotten like the first fourth of it done. Got like 3/4 more to go. But man, I'm very proud of it so far. So you guys stay tuned for that, and of course I'm gonna make announcements and whatnot, and drop little sneak peeks for you guys to check out. But yes, getting back to the review of this beat. One thing that I noticed was that kick and that stomp that you used were a bit louder than they needed to be. So let's go ahead and dial those sounds down. So you had a kick drum, then you also had that drill stomping sound. Let's go ahead and pull those down a little bit. I would say that kick can probably come down like -1.7, and that stomp can come down probably, let's just say, I want to say like -1. Definitely try to test it out on your side, and let's see how that goes. One thing that tells me, and this is a really good trick to find out if your beats are balanced, is to get on your audio interface, dial the knob down, make sure just a little past, like around normal speaking volume, just normal conversation, and then turn it up to medium, then turn it up to loud, then turn it all the way down. Just doing those 3 volume settings are gonna really help to have your ears catch certain sounds that are poking out. So sometimes we can just get in our groove of making the beat and like, okay, this is fire. I'm done. I got my stuff balanced. Got my soft clipper. Let me just go ahead and bounce it down. And that can work sometimes, but it's good to actually have this type of tool in your back pocket to make sure all your sounds are leveled. I can't tell you how many times I've caught like a hi-hat just poking out too loud, or some type of percussion poking out too loud, by just playing with the volume. I do 3 levels: low, medium, and then high banging. So, and I just let the DAW, the little thingamajig right here, sorry, the timeline thing, I just let it play. It's where I get through all the main sounds, and then from there I'm like, okay, I'm good, let me go back. Like usually the hook part is a good part to do that with, since it tends to be busier, or however you like to do it. And then yeah, you're gonna catch a few things that way. So that's another gem for you guys. So yes, shout out to you, Fireboy37. Please get that beat out there. Please get that beat sold, and you will be good to go. All right, moving forward, we have Millie Beats. Millie Beats in the building. We have Wild West by Millie Beats. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and then go ahead and give my feedback. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
God damn, Millie, you bad.
right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Millie Beats with Wild West. Shout out to you, Millie Beats, and thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Now, Millie Beats, was that one of the 808s from my free Patreon kit? Might not have been, might have been, but just put it out there. That was a really good 808, regardless of what 808 you were using. So yeah, so Millie Beats, man. One thing I was hearing is it sounds like you're getting on the verge of creating your own signature sound. So this beat, use this beat as a template or inspiration for at least a couple more future beats, because I just like the way it had that haunting sound to it, and it had your signature West Coast snap, and just something about this specifically that's like, okay, we're starting to get into the direction of I'm having this thought, I'm having this emotion, let me go to Millie Beats for production because this person has this sound. You know, if someone back in the day wanted like a soul hip hop beat sound, they know to go to Bink or Kanye West. You know, if somebody wants to have a West Coast club banger, they would know to go to DJ Mustard. And I'm starting to hear that early signature ingredients for you, Millie Beats. So once again, don't let this sound go, especially with that haunting vocal. We're on to something. Let's keep this up. Other than that, one thing I was hearing is, you know, your backing melody that you had, that doom, doom. I felt like it was, I liked it, but it felt a little too simple. A part of me felt like, you could have sprinkled a couple of like little bells in there a little bit, just to kind of make it more textured, give it more of a professional textured sound. Not that the sounds you were using were not good, it's just the melody itself felt a little too, just slightly too simple. Just a little too simple. So I want you to listen to that sound and, you know, think like, what can I do to help this not be as basic as it is? We want to just take things up a notch. So just listen back, see what you can do, and I think you'll be good to go. So shout out to you, Millie Beats. Thank you so much for submitting on the Heat Check. Please continue to submit on future shows. All right. Moving forward, we have Emil exclusive. All right. Shout out to you, Emil exclusive. So what I'm going to do, before I play this beat, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go to DesmondASounds.com, where you can get free FL Studio Patcher plugins, free loops, free guides to help you in your music production journey. And ladies and gentlemen, I've recently launched my Patreon. That's where I'm going to put my beat selling masterclass moving forward. When it's actually done. So guys, make sure you sign up for the Patreon now. You can see in the description. Sign up to the Patreon. You get a free one-shot kit that you can use just for signing up for the free tier. So go there, get your sounds, cook up some beats, and then you'll be right there in the queue to receive updates of when I'm adding stuff. So that way you can jump right on my master classes as they roll out on the paid tiers, of course. So free tier, get you started and get you some free sounds. So go ahead and do that, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and do that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and play Emil with Melodic Trap. All right, I'm gonna play this beat, mute my mic, and then give my feedback. So let's take a listen.
Emil exclusive.
All right, all right, all right. Oh, my mic was unmuted the entire time. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Hopefully, my breathing and stuff didn't get into that review. I apologize if it did. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I typically mute my mic, so my mistake. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Emil exclusive with Melodic Trap. All right, shout out to you, Emil exclusive. Now, it's a good beat overall. Good beat overall, of course. Now, a couple things are going on here. Now, one of the first things I noticed about this beat, well, let me start from the top, is those horns that you added, the bam, bam, those harsh brasses that you added, they were just a little too harsh. They just sounded a little brittle. They almost sounded like horns from, like, I don't know if you guys remember this VST called Hypersonic back in the day. I might be dating myself, but those horns felt a little brittle. I liked it composition wise, but the sound quality, the texture was just harsh. Like, I wanted to feel that part, but the harshness of it just made it difficult to get into. You know, it's kind of like eating like some type of side dish with your meal. You know, it's like everything is good, then you get to this little side dish, then you bite into it, and it's like, I want to get into it, but it's like, it's just a little too harsh. Something about this, the flavor is a little too harsh. I want to get into it, but the actual texture of it just isn't quite right. It tastes good, but the texture of it isn't quite right, you know? And that's kind of like what I'm getting with that horn part, is that something going on with the texture of it. So if I can get you to go into your VSTs, your different sounds, and just try to find a different brass there, that harsh brass that you have going on there, that's going to go ahead and fix that part. As far as VSTs, you might be able to find some in Omnisphere, if you use Omnisphere, Contact, and I want to say Nexus, but the Nexus horns are, the Nexus brass are kind of harsh themselves, so you might be able to pull something off in Nexus though. So yes, let's find a different patch for those horns. Also, the lead synth that you had going to do. To me, it was poking out a little bit too much. So let's try to pull it down a little bit. So you can maybe pull it down just volume wise, or you can pull it down with some type of EQ move to kind of tuck it into the beat a bit more. Another idea that I wrote down is you could possibly change the patch from synth. You can possibly change that to like a guitar. You could possibly use like a guitar sound, and that could work as well. You might have to make it a little legato. You know, you might have to use a little legato on there, but I think that would, either way you want to do it, I think that'll help it out. Now, the actual arrangement of this beat, it was very bold, like how you went from like almost like a Gunna type of beat, and then as we got into what I think is like the verse part, I was getting like Joyner Lucas kind of vibes, like as far as recording artists who could approach something like this, going from one style to the next, and it taking me into a whole different zone. The person I was thinking of was someone like Joyner Lucas. I think this could be a bit of a challenge to sell to an average recording artist without any type of direction. So, Emil, if you're going to send this beat off via email to a recording artist, then or even DM, I would really market it as a song. So, and I would definitely name it from, melodic trap, maybe like something deep like Forever Me, or never too real, or something like that. I would name the beat something that would help inspire some type of hook or song concept by the recording artist, and go with that. Not only would I do that with this beat, since you have such a shift in the verse part, I would also put like a little blurb, just a little sentence like, hey, my name is Emil. I had this idea. In the hook part, I wanted it to be like a Gunna vibe. In the verse part, I wanted the artist to really like open up and talk about some real stuff. And then in the hook, I want them to talk about overcoming. So sometimes you kind of got to like A&R your own beat to a song. And that's one of the things that's really going to keep us alive as producers, especially as AI gets better and better, is coming up with these song concepts. Because AI is trying right now sonically, but the thing that it doesn't really have is access to like emerging experiences, novel experiences. And there's different ways we can approach it and kind of cut AI music off at the knees, or even make it uncool by humanizing our approach to production and music creation, to the point that we can almost make it seem like people who use platforms like, Suno or Udio are kind of weird. And, I'm kind of going off on a tangent a little bit, but it's all connected due to the fact that we're talking about music production and how you can position yourself and position your music. So hopefully I didn't go too far, of course. But yes, Emil, I would definitely help the artist see the vision for this beat and position it more so as a song. So shout out to you, man. You did a bold change, and it sounded like it worked. I was a bit confused, but I kept listening. I rocked out with it. It's just the right artist has to slam dunk it. You're setting up you're throwing the ball up for the layup. The right person has to just get the ball and bow, hit it in the goal. But yes. Shout out to you. Or even like a new indie artist who's inspired by people like Joyner Lucas, Eminem, people like that. I think they'll rock out with this. So be on the lookout for some of those indie artist pages, because a lot of people want to get with the top dog once they're the top dog, but nobody wants to ride out when somebody's on the come up, So that's just how it goes. And not to say that I'm getting bigger and bigger. Well, I am, but I just notice a lot of the traffic that I'm getting now. I'm like, I had a lot of great information back when I started, but it's just the nature of people, how people are, human behavior. But I digress. Shout out to you, Emil. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Thank you so much. Please continue to submit, and I'll be glad to help you on your music production journey. Moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, we have Voteezy with Drop Top. All right. Shout out to you, Voteezy. I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and go ahead and give my feedback. So let's take a listen.
punch.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Voteezy with Drop Top. Shout out to you, Voteezy, and thank you so much for you submitting right here on the Heat Check Live Beat Review Show. Now, Voteezy, it's a good beat, man. I can tell that you're not new to beat making. You've been doing this for a while. You know how to select your sounds, not only your drum sounds, you know how to select your instrumentation. You know how to put together the beat in a way that would be friendly to the artist. I heard when you snatched out the drums and you let tension build up and then you allow the drums to come back in. Yes, these are all signs of someone who knows what they're doing when it comes to music production. So shout out to you, Voteezy. Only just one small thing that I was hearing is in the breakdown with what I think is the hook. Let me play it back. Where are we at? Just this part right here is getting a little busy, and I mean a little busy. I think an artist will be able to rap on that, but hold on, let me listen. You know, I think that'll still work. I don't want to nitpick, but I think that'll still work. We just kind of gotta just be careful. I feel like we're getting a little close to that line of being a little too busy, but I think you didn't cross that line. The line was here, you were here, you didn't cross that line of the beat being too busy, where a recording artist is gonna have not impossible, but a lot of challenges writing where they feel like they're fighting something. But I think you just got close, but you didn't pass it. So, you know, just kind of keep an eye on that whenever you're, you know, producing your beats. Always tell people to sing out loud, rap out loud. That's really going to help you structure things in the beat. But yeah, other than that, man, good beat. And honestly, I didn't really have much feedback for that. Just that part where it got busy. So that's pretty much it, man. So yeah, shout out to you, Voteezy. shout out to you. Please continue to submit right here on the Heat Check. All right, moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, we have Voteezy once again here with Rebirth. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and then give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, second submission of the night from Voteezy. That one was called Rebirth. Shout out to you, Voteezy. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Now, Voteezy, man, I said I knew you knew what you were doing when I heard that first beat. Now the second beat solidifies it. You really know what you're doing when it comes to production, man. I wouldn't be surprised if you've been doing this for quite a while. I could hear so many little details on what you're doing that tells me how far along you are as a producer. Man, it was really giving me that classic Jeezy, Can't Ban the Snowman. You know, I was hearing like DJ Drama's tag in there, like Gangsta Grizzles. Like I was hearing that when I was listening to the beat. So yeah, man, you was right there. You know, I feel like if Jeezy, man, if we can get you on this type of sound, you know, or maybe even another artist who likes this type of Jeezy sound. You know, I know Trap Boy Freddy, not too long ago, he had some songs that really tapped into this, you know, TM 101 style of trap music production. So, hey, maybe instead of Jeezy, this could go to Trap Boy Freddy, you know, who knows? But yeah, man, it just put me in the zone. It gave me those vibes that just reminded me of back in the day when that style of music came out. And I was just like, man, what is this? It's Southern music, but it has this weird twist to it that I really like with the chords. So yeah, it really put me in the zone, Voteezy, man. So shout out to you, man. As far as constructive feedback, I really have none. Nah, man, you got it. You just, man, hit up Trap Boy Freddy on the DMs, man, and send this to him because you got something. So shout out to you. Shout out to you, Voteezy. Please continue to submit right here on the Heat Check, and I'll be glad to help you in your music production journey, or just, you know, give you some shine, give you some spotlight here on my channel. As you know, my podcast, a lot of people moving and shaking in the music game. Check out my channel. So, hey, you never know. You never know who might hit you up on the side. All right, ladies and gentlemen, moving forward, we have Dancing Main with Top Down in Toronto. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and then give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dancing Main with Top Down in Toronto. Shout out to you, Dancing Main. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. All right. So we got Dancing Main back with the R&B, but this is more so I would say this is R&B or R&B influenced hip hop. It's more of a hip hop beat. I couldn't really hear a singer per se on this beat. So starting from the top, one of the first things I heard on this Dancing Main was the contrast between the sample and when we got to that first drop. It felt like I just wanted to hear more of the transient of the kick. It felt like the kick was just a little over compressed. I don't know if you're using a limiter, and then the audio was like the kick, because the kick, the transient is real snappy. I don't know if the compressor just smacked it down and then caused it to be a little bit, over controlled. But that's what I was hearing. I just wanted a harder impact when the music came on. And instead, I heard the compression pull down the attack of that kick. So let's work on that. And let me play it just in case you guys didn't hear it for some reason. Let's see here. All right. See the sample, and I miss you. We want, then I miss you. So you can even maybe pull down the volume of the sample part. I think that'll also create like some good contrast with the actual beat. So yes, that's one of the main things that stood out to me. Other than that, I was kind of trying to figure out like a flow for a rapper to get on a beat like this. I couldn't quite figure out like what artist would get on a beat like this. And part of the reason is because I hear Dancing Main, you have your like signature drum groove that you have, which can be good, especially since you do have such musical composition variety. That signature drum groove, drum patterns is a great way to anchor yourself style wise. But I felt like in this instance, we could have experimented with a different drum groove, just for the sake of just trying to find something different, a different pocket, a different bop, something different, as opposed to maybe what you're more so comfortable with. So you can definitely keep the rest of the beat, but once you get in your DAW, don't be afraid to experiment. When I want to experiment with different grooves, sometimes I'll just start with just changing the different kick patterns and then just start mumbling to myself. So usually I just need to do like 3 kicks or something, or some days I just be like, I'll think of an era of an artist that I want to produce for. So I'm like, this today I feel like producing for, Bryson Tiller during the trap soul era. And that's a good way to kind of help break up some of the monotony of what we usually like to do. I know, I get it. I get in my pocket too sometimes where I'm like, man, okay, I got the melody. Let me go ahead and do my little signature drum pattern. And, you could do it sometimes, but sometimes we need to push ourselves out our comfort zone. I sold a beat like a couple months ago to an artist, and the drum groove that I did on that was definitely not my normal drum groove. I was experimenting. I was like doing like this kind of, if you're hearing this too late, it's too late kind of Drake vibe. That's what I was going for with the drum groove. And, it pushed me out my comfort zone. So, definitely give stuff like that a try. So those are more gems for you to use in your music production, guys. All right. So let's go ahead and move forward with the next submission of today with Dancing Maine. All right. We have Dancing Maine working that pole. Okay. Where them dollars at? Shout out to you, Dancing Maine. All right. I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and then give my feedback. So let's take a listen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Dancing Maine's second submission of the night with Working That Pole. All right, shout out to you, Dancing Maine. Now, Dancing Maine, for that beat, one of the first things I heard with that beat was, once again, I was hearing your compressor, or some type of limiter going on. Make sure I don't have mine on. So yeah, I was hearing your limiter. It just sounds like either your threshold is too low or your release is too slow. Something is going on where the limiter is just like, let me not hurt myself. Your limiter is hitting your peak, like especially on your snappy or transient sounds, it's hitting your peak and it's holding on to it a bit too much. So it could be that the threshold is too low, where it's, let me get close to the camera. It could be that your threshold is too low, where the limiter is doing gain reduction at too much of a lower point, or it's just it's limiting and it's like holding it too long. I want to say it's the threshold. I feel like if you just dialed it back, we could hear more of those snappier, transient sounds like the kick. I just hear it mostly just grabbing onto the kick. So let's watch the limiter. Let's kind of play with the settings a little bit. Other than that, another thing I was hearing with that beat was the tempo. I feel like we need to slow the beat down, maybe like 2 BPMs, to really help create a groove, really help create a vibe, because it was in that kind of in between space tempo wise, and I feel like we needed to pick a side. Do we want it to be a little more slow, or do we need to push it forward and be a little faster? But in my opinion, I felt like we need to make it slower. You know, if it's slower, I feel like we can really get in that R&B smooth kind of bag. So that's what I'm thinking with that. So yes. So shout out to you, Dancing Maine. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. All right, moving forward, we have JVN World with Bite. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, then give my feedback. So let's take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was JVN World with Bite. Shout out to you, JVN World, and thank you so much for submitting on the Heat Check. Now, JVN World, man, that was a good one, man. That beat was very artist friendly, and I've told you this before on some of our previous shows. Some of the previous ones, like most recent previous one, JVN World, we've had issues with your melody and dissonance and out of key 808s. But I've told you, you have something with your beats, especially your simpler beats. Like, I guess you can call this a simple beat, whatever. Just with your certain style of beats that you make that's very artist friendly. As soon as this beat came on, I instantly started freestyling. Instantly caught a groove. I instantly had a flow. Instantly just had ideas. So a beat like this, there's gonna be producers in there who have all kinds of equipment in the studio. You're gonna play your beat and they're gonna be wondering why your beat got picked over theirs because they had all the super special effects and stuff like that. Yours was just a nice open canvas, a nice open highway for the artist to just go through and write their song. It's just like they're just walking through and writing their song. Like, you had everything placed where it needed to be, where they can go ahead and make their music. As far as feedback, this is kind of a production thing that I was hearing. So when we come back to what I feel like was going to be the hook. Oh, let me go ahead and play it. When we get back to what I feel like is going to be the hook. I'm hearing a high string there, like a and just kind of keeping it tucked in the background. So that way the artist knows that this is the hook. So however you're having it structured, I feel like we can add a string there. Just a real subtle string. Or you can have it go with the melody. Whatever you want to do, either way, I feel like those would be some pretty cool ways to break things up. Also, when we jump back here from the drum groove to, let's see here. Let's open our parametric EQ. Open up the parametric EQ. All right. I feel like we could have done something here, like, we were grooving, and I feel like we could have did. Let me make sure you can see the EQ though. Y'all might not have been able to see that. All right. Let me do it again. I want to do it right. You see what I'm saying? Like, using the low pass filter to kind of play with the synth ARP sound that you have going on, that's gonna help to bridge the gap between the verse and the hook. And when you just have things, all the sounds just playing the way they were, it didn't create a real smooth contrast from one point to the next into in the beat. So yes, go ahead and do that, and you'll be good to go. So yeah, shout out to you, JVN World. Shout out to you, man. Please continue to improve, implement the tips, because you got something, JVN World. You're a producer. I wouldn't be surprised if you rap, you just freestyle with your friends. You got something, JVN World. We just need to keep honing it, keep refining it, and keep, helping you build up as a producer. But you are definitely getting there. So shout out to you, JVN World. All right. So it looks like that was the last submission of the night. Go ahead and get back full screen. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. That was the Heat Check Live Beat Review Show. Once again, don't forget to check out the Made in the Studio podcast, where you can get a whole lot of game from some of the top industry producers. They're working with the big dogs, Big X the Plug, working with Lil Durk, NBA YoungBoy. Check out all those interviews on my podcast tab right here on the Desmond A YouTube. Also, make sure you go to DesmondASounds.com to get some free stuff, free loops, free FL Studio Patcher plugins, free guides. Check out my Patreon. You're going to see that in the description. Go there to get a free one-shot kit. And I got some powerful information coming for the Patreon exclusives. Guys, it is going to be crazy. My masterclasses is definitely going to hit different. In the process of making one on selling beats via Instagram, and it is powerful, very powerful, very, very powerful. And it is coming along masterfully, if I do say so myself. Yes, I can't wait to drop that. You guys are really going to enjoy it. The music production game definitely needs it. Definitely needs it. And I am hunting down, scheduling, getting more guests for the podcast. So y'all be on the lookout for that. We should have another episode. Well, got to record it and you got to do all the whole process of editing and whatnot. Hopefully we should be able to squeeze out another episode completed by the end of the month. But yeah, we should have another episode by the end of the month. But be on the lookout for any announcements that I have on my YouTube community posts. So, ladies and gentlemen, wraps up another great week, man. Great submissions this week. I had a whole lot of fun. Once again, I'm going to go ahead and open up the form for next Friday's show. So be on the lookout. I'm going to go ahead and post that in the YouTube community. And that's going to be within the next about 5 minutes. So be on the lookout for that. I want to hear some more Fire Beats and continue to help you guys grow on your music production journey. My name is Desmond A. I'll see y'all next Friday.